Wow, there are some big changes coming in the next 14.10 patch to mark the start of the second split. Split 2 starts on May the 15th. Before we dive into looking at the new changes, I want to highlight one good change that was made in the 14.9 patch, which was a behavioral system change. This measure may provide players with LP constellation, autofill protection, XP boosts, and ARAM rerolls when levers or feeders are identified in your game. This is a good change for ranked players like myself, and it is cool to know that Riot wants to address these issues. Now let's start off with runes. Predator, Lethal Tempo, Ingenious Hunter, Futures Market, and Minion Dematerializer are being removed from the game. Whereas the attack's base damage is being reduced from 40 to 180 to 40 to 160. Your damage is amplified by 8% until you leave combat. This is a significant change as the damage amp will now only affect yourself and not your allies' damage to the target. The cooldown is being changed from 6 seconds after triggering the effects to 6 seconds out of combat. The duration is changing from 6 seconds to 5 seconds, which refreshes in combat with champions. Fleet Footwork's base healing is being reduced from 10 to 130 to 8 to 110, and its speed duration is increasing from 1 second to 1.25 seconds. Halo Blade's attack speed is being reduced to 80% for ranged attacks. First Strike's bonus damage is increasing from 7% to 8%, its base gold is increased by 10, and the gold gain from damage is reduced from 100% to 70% to 50% to 35%. Sudden Impact's cooldown is increasing from 4 seconds to 10 seconds and now deals 20 to 80 bonus true damage within 5 seconds after dashing or leaving stealth instead of hybrid penetration. Relentless Hunter no longer grants 5 movement speed at 0 stacks. Font of Life now heals the user and the lowest HP ally after immobilizing an enemy for 10 to 50, which is reduced to 70% for ranged. This effect also has a 20-second cooldown. Cut Down is being reworked. The new effect is to deal 8% more damage to champions who have more than 60% max HP. And now let's move on to the new additions. Absorb Life is replacing Overheal in the precision tree that heals you after killing a target and is tuned for the late game with healing values ranging between 2 and 17. There is a new rune called Legend Haste. Gain 1.5 basic ability haste for every legend stack with a max of 10 stacks from every champion takedown and epic monster takedown. Legend Haste is replacing Legend Tenacity, which is being removed from the game. Another new rune is called Cashback on the Inspiration Tree. Gain 6% gold back when you purchase legendary items. Cashback replaces Triple Tonic on the first row. Triple Tonic is moving to row 2 and replaces Futures Market, which is being removed from the game. Another new rune is called Jack of All Trades, also on the Inspiration Tree. For each different stat gained from items, gain 1 Jack stack. Each stack grants you 1 ability haste. Gain bonus adaptive force at 5 and 10 stacks. It replaces Time Warp Tonic on row 3. Time Warp Tonic is moving to row 2 and replacing Minion Dematerializer, which is being removed from the game. And Time Warp Tonic no longer works on biscuits, mana items, or grants 2% movement speed. The immediate consumption healing bonus has increased from 30% to 40%, and then the remaining 100% healing occurs. Now let's move on to item changes. Marksman items receive the most changes in this patch. The first thing to note is that all legendary crit items now have 25% critical strike chance instead of 20, so I won't be noting the crit change for each individual item. Starting off with Dagger, its attack speed has been reduced from 12% to 10%. Zeal's crit chance is being increased from 15% to 20%. Kerchai's Shard is being removed and replaced with Scout Slingshot, which gives additional magic damage upon damaging champions and costs 900 gold. Recurve Bow's damage type is changing from magic damage to physical damage. Noon Quiver is receiving a recipe change. It is now a longsword and cloak of agility and costs 1,400 gold. Noon Quiver now gives 20% critical strike chance, 25 AD instead of 30, and the 15% attack speed has been removed. Hearthbound Axe's recipe is also changing as a dagger is being swapped out for a longsword. It will now cost 1,300 gold, give 20 AD instead of 15, and 20 attack speed instead of 25. Stormrazor has been removed. Phantom Dancer is having its attack speed, crit, and movement speed increased. Its AD and its passive is being removed, but the ghosted effect still remains the same. Its cost is also being reduced by 200 to a total of 2,600 gold. Lord Dominic's Regard no longer deals increased damage based on the target's max health, but the item now has 5% more armor pen, 5% more crit, and 5 more AD. Kraken Slayer AD has been increased from 40 to 50 and its attack speed has been increased from 35% to 40%. The crit chance has been replaced by 7% movement speed, and the additional damage every third attack is now increased by the target's missing health. Terminus is having its AD reduced by 5 and its attack speed increased by 5%. Blade of the Ruined King has had its AD, attack speed, and lifesteal increase. The health damage passive has been reduced. Its slowing effect now applies after attacking an enemy 3 times instead of once and slows for 30% for 1 second. Bloodthirster is having its AD increased by 25 and now converts excess healing from lifesteal into a 50 to 400 overshield that decays after 25 seconds out of combat, instead of giving extra AD above 70% max HP. The crit chance is also being removed as there is now a pickaxe in the build path instead of a cloak of agility. Essence Reaver's cost is increasing by 300 gold. It no longer has a Spellblade effect, but instead restores mana on hit. Its AD and ability haste are being increased by 5 and its crit chance is now 25%. Immortal Shield Bow is having its lifesteal removed and its AD increased by 5. Collector is having its AD increased by 5 and its lethality reduced by 1. Infinity Edge's cost is increasing by 100 to a total of 3,400 gold, and its AD is also increasing by 15. Mercurial Scimitar's cost is increasing by 300 to a total of 3,300 gold, its crit chance is being removed and it now grants 10% lifesteal. Rapid Fire Cannon's cost is being reduced by 400 to a total of 2,600 gold, its AD is being removed and its attack speed is increasing by 15%. Rune Hurricane's cost is being reduced by 200, totaling 2,600 gold as well. Its Bolt AD ratio is increased from 40% to 55% and it no longer deals 30 on-hit damage. Static Shiv is having its crit chance removed, its attack speed increased by 10% and a new passive that fires Chain Lightning upon killing an enemy that deals 90 magic damage that hits up to 6 additional targets. There is a 3-second cooldown on this effect when killing minions, but no cooldown when killing champions. Yuntao Wild Arrows gives 65 AD and 25 critical strike chance. Its Big Sting passive allows critical attacks to deal 35% total AD additional damage over 2 seconds, and this is also a new item. Navori Flicker Blade is replacing Navori Quick Blades. It provides attack speed, critical strike chance, and movement speed. The ability haste and AD are removed, and its Transcendence passive reduces your non-ultimate ability cooldowns by 15% of their remaining cooldown every attack. Now moving on to fighter item changes. Black Cleaver's shred per stack is increasing from 5% to 6%, and the max shred at 5 stacks is increasing from 25% to 30%. Ravenous Hydra's cast range is increasing from 325 to 350. Now let's move on to tank and support items, which also receive lots of changes. Anathema's Chains is being removed. There is a new item called Overlord's Bloodmail, which provides 40 AD and 500 health and costs 3,300 gold. Its Tyranny passive gives 2% of your bonus health as AD, and its Retribution passive gives up to 10% increased AD based on your percentage missing health. The maximum bonus is while you are below 30% health. Hollow Radiance now grants 10 ability haste and its health is being reduced from 600 to 450. Balmy Cinder now costs 100 gold less, totaling 900 gold. It now grants 5 ability haste and its health stats are being reduced from 300 to 200. Randuin's Omen no longer has its rock solid passive. Its slow is being increased from 55% to 70%. Its cooldown is increasing from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. The health is reduced from 400 to 350 and the armor is increased from 55 to 75. Sunfire Aegis now grants 10 ability haste, and the health is reduced from 500 to 350. Unending Despair's cooldown is being reduced from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. Warmog's armor's health is being increased from 750 to 1000, and the health regen is being reduced from 200% to 100%. Winter's Approach and Fimbulwinter are both having their health increased from 400 to 550, and the health gain from mana is increased from 8% total to 15% bonus. Abyssal Mask's cost is being reduced by 100 to total 2,300 gold. Its magic resist is being reduced by 10 and the magic resist provided per target has increased from 9 to 10. Its aura radius is increasing from 550 to 600 and the magic resist shred is now 20% and not based on bonus HP. Knight's Vow is having its armor reduced by 5, it now grants 100% HP regen, the damage redirected is increased from 10% to 12%, and the redirect is no longer doubled below 30% HP. Zeke's Convergence is having its mana removed, the ability haste is reduced from 20 to 10, the health is increased from 200 to 300, and the armor is reduced from 30 to 25. Zeke's now also grants 25 magic resist. Echoes of Helia is receiving a small buff, the heal per shard is increasing from 40 to 60. Dawncore is having its Summoner spell and ability haste removed. The mana regen is being reduced from 150 to 100%. Its AP is increasing from 40 to 60. The AP per 100% mana regen is increasing from 5 to 10. Dawncore also grants 16% healing and shielding power, and the healing and shielding power per 100% regen is being reduced from 3% to 2%. Shurelia's Battle Song's passive movement speed is being reduced from 8% to 5%, and the AP is being reduced from 55 to 50. There are also a few mage item changes. There is a new item called Blackfire Torch, which provides 90 AP, 600 mana, and 25 ability haste. Its Baleful Blaze passive makes your abilities burn enemies for 3 seconds and does more damage to monsters. Its Blackfire passive gives 4% AP for each enemy champion, epic monster, and large monster affected by the burn. Fated Ashes is a new component that builds into Liandry's and Blackfire and has a small burning effect. Luden's Companion is having its base damage increased from 45 to 60, and the damage per charge is increasing from 35% to 50%. It now gains all 6 charges immediately after 12 seconds instead of 1 charge every 3 seconds. And finally, Banshee's Veil now grants you movement speed upon the spell shield breaking. Now let's move on to the boots changes. Berserker's Greaves are now able to be upgraded to Zephyr at level 15, which provides 40% attack speed, reduces the effectiveness of slows by 20%, and also grants 65 movement speed. Plated Steel Cap's cost is reduced by 100. The passive has been nerfed from 12% to 8%, but it now has an extra 5 armor. MERC Treads is having its cost reduced by 100, its magic resist increased by 5, and its tenacity reduced from 30% to 20%. Boots of Swiftness is having its movement speed reduced from 60 to 45, its slow resist removed, and auto-attacking now grants 30 to 20 movement speed for 2 seconds. Symbiotic Souls is replacing mobility boots. Symbiotic Souls gives an empowered recall and 35 movement speed. It also gives an additional 45 movement speed when out of combat after you have traveled 150,000 units of distance. This will definitely have a big impact on roaming supports such as Pike and Bard, as mobility boots have an out of combat movement speed of 115. This means that rotations and roams will be a lot slower in the early game. And finally, we have summoner spells. Ghost is being nerfed, its duration is being reduced from 15 seconds to 10 seconds, and the cooldown is increased from 210 seconds to 240 seconds. Barrier has been buffed, its shield is increasing from 105 to 411 to 120 to 480, and its duration is increasing from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Exhaust is also receiving changes. The slow is increasing from 30% to 40%, and the cooldown is increasing from 210 seconds to 240 seconds. And finally, Heal's range is being increased from 835 to 900. And last but not least, Corrupting Potion has been removed. Overall, this patch is very much marksman focused, and it's going to be very interesting to see how all the new items and runes perform. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will update the description and comments section with further changes to the items before the patch goes live. Let me know what you think to these changes. I usually don't do patch videos, so let me know if you like this video style and if I should cover future patches.